The 24th of October 2017 Russian youngster Robert Shwartzman has joined Ferraris Driver Academy, becoming the 8th member of the Marcus Young driver scheme. Shwartzman, 18, raced in Italian and ADAC Formula 4 categories in 201,415, before moving into Formula Renault 2.0 championships in 2016. Shwartzman holds 4th position in this year's Formula Renault 2.0 championship, having taken 4 wins, ahead of this weekend's finale at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. Shwartzman, backed by SMP Racing, is the latest new addition to the roster, after Ferrari confirmed its acquisition of multiple Formula 3 race winner Callum Ilott last week. Formula 2 champion Charles Leclerc, his Prema teammate Antonio Fuoco, GP3 race victor Giuliano Alesi, F3's Guan Yu Zhou and F4 pair Marcus Armstrong and Enzo Fittipaldi are the other members. Latest news 1322 Lewis Hamilton believes that the unusual dynamic between himself and Valtteri Bottas has driven Mercedes forward in 2017, and F1 1230 Renault engine chief Remy Taffin has accepted that the manufacturer has suffered from too many reliability issues in 2017, as F1 1148 Formula 1 heads south across the border to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, for the Mexican Grand Prix. JeepUpdate.net previews. F1 1052 Force India's senior system engineer Charlie Blackwell explains the buttons and switches required on a Formula 1 steering wheel. F1 1028 Formula 1 sporting chief Russ Brawn has suggested that the sport needs to learn from Max Verstappen's penalty at the United F1 1018 Marcus Ericsson says it is now almost impossible for Sauber to fight with its Formula 1 rivals due to its use of a year-old F1 0949 Red Bull Motorsport consultant Helmut Marko has confirmed that Daniil Kvyat will not return to Toro Rosso, leaving the Russians. F1 0923 Renault has confirmed that it will exit Formula E at the end of the 201,718 season, with partner Nissan to take its place at the FA 0902. Reigning world champion Marc Marquez can clinch his 4th Moto title, and 6th world championship in all classes, at Moto 839. Find out what happened when Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton took sprinting legend Usain Bolt for a spin at the Circuit of the Americas. F1 0803 Nissan has announced that it is to join the Formula E Championship in 201,819, in place of an existing outfit. Nissan will. FA 0520 Haas driver Kevin Magnussen previews this weekend's Mexican Grand Prix with a virtual lap at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. F1 1654 Force India test driver Alfonso Celis Jr. will make another outing behind the wheel of the squad's Formula 1 car at this F1 1625 McLaren Honda's Fernando Alonso says he is braced for a back-of-the-grid start at this weekend's Mexican Grand Prix. In the wake, F1 1608 Russian youngster Robert Shwartzman has joined Ferraris Driver Academy, becoming the 8th member of the Marcus Young driver. F1 1602 Lewis Hamilton says the work he has undertaken both with Mercedes and on his own lifestyle is behind the form he has. F1 1424 JeepUpdate.net looks at the pre-race introductions at the United States Grand Prix, a first for F1, and argues that Liberty Media. F1 1315 Marc Marquez and Dani Pedrosa look ahead to this weekend's Malaysian Grand Prix at Sepang. In this preview video from Honda, Moto 1256 Aprilia Lexus Espargaro will sit out this weekend's Malaysian Grand Prix as a result of the finger injury he sustained at Moto 1206. Lewis Hamilton claimed his 9th victory of the season, as he comfortably overcame an early challenge from distant title rival. F1 1131 McLaren-backed Formula 3 champion Lando Norris headlines this year's entry list for the Macau Grand Prix. Norris will. F3 1124 Romain Grosjean says that the level of tire degradation meant the final few laps of his United States Grand Prix were pretty. F1 1004 Williams Lance Stroll says he was left disappointed after he narrowly missed out on a points finish at the United States Grand. F1 0917 Valtteri Bottas insists that he is still making progress with Mercedes, and regards his recent difficult string of races as an F1 0534 Mercedes documents the hours building up to and after securing a 4th successive constructors title from its factories in F1 1905 F1 1903 Max Verstappen's penalty for his bold overtake on Kimi Räikkönen on the final lap of the United States Grand Prix was the F1 1719 Toro Rosso has confirmed that Pierre Gasly and Brendan Hartley will race for the team at this weekend's Mexican Grand Prix. F1 1652 Sauber's Pascal Wehrlein believes it was quite an effort for Kevin Magnussen to crash into him on the opening lap of the F1 1532. Lewis Hamilton put himself on the brink of a 4th world title, some midfield drivers starred, while a controversial penalty F1 1434 Kimi Räikkönen says he was a bit surprised by Max Verstappen's last lap maneuver through turn 17 as the pair battled for F1 1342 Yamaha's Maverick Vinales says his target for the remaining 2 races this season is to overhaul Ducati rider Andrea Dovizioso. Motive 1256 Fernando Alonso hailed an amazing performance from McLaren at the United States Grand Prix and believes the operation deserved F1 1144 Toro Rosso's Daniil Kvyat described his United States Grand Prix as the best race of the year as he marked his return to F1 1058 joined Gene Haas, Gunther Steiner, Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen as they visit Haas Hill at the Circuit of the Americas. F1 1022 Force India's Esteban Ocon labeled his United States Grand Prix as very satisfying, and praised his team for overcoming a F1 0906. Carlos Sainz Jr. reveled in a smooth weekend as he followed up a Q3 spot with points on his Renault debut at the United F1 0632 Mercedes boss Toto Wolff says the team will keep our foot on the gas after completing half of the job by clinching the F1 0402. McLaren highlights how Formula One went pink for the United States Grand Prix to raise breast cancer awareness, in conjunction F1 0316 F1